So here we are, another exciting topic. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. Hey, we understand P1, P2, P3. Now we understand the funnel, top, middle, and bottom. We understand the five different stages of audience, which is unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. Now, what can we do to learn more about them? How do we know their pain points? Where do our audience hang out? You will have a lot of these questions about audiences, right? So that is exactly what we are going to discuss now. There are a few tools and methods that I have personally followed in the past and I continue to do even today. So we will discuss what are all the possible methods that are out there to know more about your audience, to understand their pain points, to understand what they're speaking. Yeah. So starting with the first method, from your competitors. If you're entering an industry and you're already having a lot of competitors out there, and there is nothing wrong to learn from competition in terms of how they have gone about identifying their audiences. And one thing that reveals the audience very well to me is the search strategy and content strategy. I typically use Ahrefs to kind of understand what kind of keywords they have optimized their website for, right? Is it really around their platform or product, or is it around the audience pain points? If they have created blogs, what have they typically written about? So I usually put the blogs in something like a word cloud, where I can find patterns of words that they have continuously used. So this is something that helps me understand, but I wouldn't do it for all the competition. I would do it from a competitor that I admire, somebody I know for a fact that they have done their work, they've gotten their messaging right, they do their ads very well. So I usually reverse engineer those kind of competition to understand if there is anything that I've had an oversight on about my audience. Yeah. Then is the PPC keywords to understand what type of PPC keywords that they're bidding on. Again, is it around audience pain points, or it is around their products, it is around their benefits, it is around their brand itself. Those kind of strategies, those kind of keywords I'll identify. That will help me a little about, okay, is there something that we are not tapping into? Is there something about my audience that I have not looked into? That is one. Of course, landing pages and website reveal a lot more. Then their ad strategy. What exactly are they communicating? This is very, very important to me. So I would go look up their Facebook ads, look up their LinkedIn ads, look up their landing pages to see what are they communicating? What are the keywords that they're repeating? What is the USP that they're selling? Is it actually really working, resonating well with my audience? So there are so much that you can learn from competitors, but it's very important who you're learning this from. One thing that most people do is they just look up to competition and they just quite literally copy. I generally avoid that because not every competitor is doing their job right. You never know what is happening in the behind the scenes. So I would probably take a competition that I admire, that I personally feel is doing a great job, then kind of reverse engineer what are they getting discovered for organically, what are their articles talking about, what type of PPC keywords are they bidding on, if they are running ads on Facebook or LinkedIn or Google, what is the messaging, if they have a landing page, what is the USP that they're selling, all these things, one from a competitor analysis perspective to understand what they do. But if they have very clearly done their audience research and if they're talking about specific pain points, solving specific audience pain point, that is what I'm looking for at this stage. That if the competitor has already done it, why do it all over again? So you can always learn from the competition that way. Okay. Number two is the most important places where you can find deep information about your audiences. We will actually do an example, with a Facebook group, but as of now, just take a look at the methods. We will definitely look at an example a little later in the module. Facebook groups, forums, subreddits. You can find a ton of information about your audience. Pretty much every industry, again, except for few non-internet dependent businesses, I've always told you, you will not find them talking about their pain points, the products that they like a lot. But Facebook groups, brilliant place where you can dig deep about your audiences. And I will explain it to you with an example a little later. Forums are another great place. For example, in India, if it is about car or bike, you have Team BHP and XBHP. It's a forum where people talk about everything. They talk about what they like, what they dislike, what they look forward to about a specific product. They give feedback. If you want to check what they're talking about competition, that's a fantastic place to check real voice of customer. You can check it in different forums. But the forum may not exist for a lot of your industry, especially if you're a new product trying to solve a new pain point. It may not have a forum. In that case, you can still go back to Facebook groups. But the key here, pro tip, is not to search for your product name plus Facebook group. Let's say you're selling shampoo, okay? And you cannot go search for shampoo Facebook group and shampoo forum. What is the shampoo meant for, right? A shampoo is meant for hair care, hair hygiene, right? And why would people want to care about their hair? Because they want to look good, because they want to keep their healthy, right? So I would probably tap into beauty, personal hygiene, anything related to hair, home remedy, these kind of groups. Now you get the idea, right? You do not, majority of the marketers do this mistake of putting their product name out there and searching for group. Don't do that. Understand what a product is meant for, what is the benefit it is giving to a customer, and use that benefit to identify the group. Okay. So, and identify that larger topic. Let's just like how we discussed this example of hair care, right? If you're selling a shampoo, you'll have to kind of reverse engineer to understand what is a larger benefit. You will definitely find groups with that larger benefit. Real estate, you will find a lot of benefits. Tax saving, you'll find a lot of groups that are talking about it. There are different pain point. If there is a pain point that that is existing with a lot of people, you can be sure that there is a Facebook group for that to discuss about it. People who would want to go on tours, people who would want to go on luxury vacations, uh, people who would want to take care of their home very well, people who are in a certain profession, people who share a certain hobby. You will find all of these groups, Facebook groups. Okay, this is perfect place. And if you really want to dig more, you want to get like really cult kind of an insights that you're not really satisfied with the information that Facebook groups give you, then you have to find a subreddit, right? So there is nothing like subreddit, but the problem with Reddit is, it has a specific group of people, right? So you might end up misguided being the information discussed within Reddit. But if you're really not satisfied with Facebook groups, you can definitely tap into subreddits that are meant for this particular benefit. For example, subreddits may look like making money online, biking tips, right? Or keeping your body fit, or learning more, books to read, things like that. You will find a lot of them in a subreddit. We will do it with an example. Till then, stay tuned. Number three is Alexa. Alexa has a paid tool which can actually reveal audience overlap, audience interests, and stuff like that. It looks something like this. You can put in any website out there. It could be a competitive website or a website that has a similar audience as you. You can just put that and explore interest. It is going to tell you what are all the topics that they are typically interested in, right? Now, if you're running campaigns on Facebook, you can use them as interest targeting. You will find similar topics in Google Display if you're running ads on Google Display Network and YouTube. While you're running native ads on Taboola or Outbrain or MGID, any of that, right? You can actually use these topics as they give you topic targeting. You can put these as topics. So now these are different ways where you can potentially go after audiences by doing some research about what are their interests. Yeah. Number four is a favorite tool of mine. It's called Audience Insights. So let me switch back to a tool, and I'll show you how Audience Insights look like. This is I'm showing you a free plan. You can sign up for a free plan as well. But again, don't sign up all at once. They might end up banning creating new accounts altogether. So you can just sign up for a free account and create a new report. When you create a new report, it will give you three options, but the free account will give you only profile attributes. You just click on profile attributes, and you can give the Twitter handle that you wanted to monitor. As of now, the free report is specifically meant for Twitter, but Twitter can reveal a lot of insights about your audiences. Okay, so let's say you want to target the followers of a specific account. You can do that. For example, let's say I'm an interior design company and I really want to target live space. Understand how the live space audience is. I can actually put live space and click on next. The report should be ready, and I'm going to show you a finished report now. Let me just quickly go there. This is how a finished report looks like. Okay. So it will reveal what the demographics of the followers are. How many of them are male, female, which country do they live in, what language do they speak, which city are they from, what are their most favorite brands. This is all based on their conversation. Who are the top influencers that they follow? What are the top content that they prefer watching? It can actually reveal more. Let me just show you. Once I click on see all sources, it can give me media affinity or channels that they prefer watching, radio programs that they like listening to, newspapers that they read, magazines that they read. It can reveal about the personality as well. It talks about being helpful, genial, and expressive. Their choices are driven by a desire for a stability. Just look at the insights, guys. So here is where you can put your competition that you feel is doing really well, and it can reveal a lot about their audiences. Okay, so it talks about multiple things: personality dimensions, how bold they are they calm people, are they self-controlled, are they authoritative, do they have respect for authority? All that information, really good ones. There are a few that won't be available in the free account, but most of the other things should be available. The only caveat here is the free account lets you monitor only a Twitter handle. If you feel a specific Twitter handle followers have a lot of your audiences, then this is a brilliant tool to dig deep more about your audiences, their buying habits, their personality, the TV programs, their media habits, everything. So this is what typically profiling is all about. Generally, when you're researching about your audiences, these are the information that you need to have. This is more than enough as a starting point. Then you can start running campaigns, start writing copies, design visuals that are in line with their interests. Okay. This is exactly what comes under consumer profiling. You know, your demographics, what are the influencers and the brands they follow, what are their interests, what type of media affinity, which means what type of media networks they follow, what is their personality. That's just sheer brilliance. I like keep coming back to this free version of the tool. I keep deleting the report that I want once in a while. So that's a trick. You don't just keep on going on creating. If you delete it, they will let you create one more, which means I have actually saved the report, right? I can delete that report and I can schedule another report. So this is a good one. Uh, it's not too expensive as well, but if you are a brand that really want to know more deep about your audiences, this is actually a perfect tool to explore more. And I can vouch for this. It's not really expensive. If you actually think about it, it's about $700 a month. If you are hiring a market research agency to do it, they will easily charge at least 3 times more than this amount. And it can cover other platforms as well, in terms of we looked at only Twitter, right? It can cover other platforms as well. So that is audience insights, where you can know more about your audiences and you can use those specific things for your copy. You can use them as interest targeting. If you know they're following a specific programs, you can actually think about striking a deal with that program itself, right? While they are watching the program, there are media slots, right, that you can buy in between. You can do that. Or if that particular TV channel has a website, you can buy media from there. So these are, we will talk more about it when we do media planning and buying. But this is how you should be able to connect the dots. Why do we need this? Because we want to do the media. We want to put out ads in the places where they hang out. We want to put out an ad that they will be able to relate to. That is why you need tools like this. Okay. The next one is SparkToro. SparkToro is again the free tool itself reveals a lot of information, a lot of audience intelligence. Let me just quickly go to SparkToro. Right, SparkToro looks like this. So you just sign up for a free account, and you will be able to understand audiences of literally everything. Okay, for example, I want to find audiences. My audience frequently talks about food delivery, right? Or you can actually target people who use a specific word in their profile, or you can actually target people who are following a specific account. But this is what I frequently use. My audience frequently talks about food delivery, or let's say Chinese food. All I have to do is just click on discover now, and it will give me a ton of insights. And you won't believe the kind of insights this free tool offers, which you can take back home, take back to your campaigns. And we have tested a few. It really works because it is highly data driven. Okay, so what I can do is, I'll just add India to it, just to because different people, different country people behave in a different way. It's very important to understand cultural preferences. Okay. So I want audience who frequently talks about Chinese cuisine in India. Okay, and this tells me who are all the type of people, what are the type of hashtags they use, what are the frequently used phrases. I think the word Chinese and Narendra Modi. That is why Narendra Modi is popping in. Otherwise, these two are relevant. Your taste buds and mouth watering. It talks about what are the popular social accounts they follow. If you are really something to do with Chinese cuisine, let's say if you're launching a noodles brand tomorrow, you would really want to partner with some of these influencers, right? This is called data-driven influencer marketing. Instead of you actually just picking up someone randomly, you take data, what does the audience care about, who do they follow, and then you do an influencer marketing campaign with that person. It reveals more what type of websites they visit, what type of podcasts they listen to, what type of magazines that they read about, all of that. Really, really sexy insights. Okay. You can just dig deep, guys. There is so much this reveals about insights all the way up to, and there is something that I specifically like. It's called custom audience. For example, if you do not want to do, if you already have a database of people, or you have the list of social URLs of people who are following you, you can actually feed that list of social URLs, and Spark Toro will give you intelligence about those people, right? It just scrape their profile and then profile it and give it back to you. So in case if you want a custom list, if you don't want to track by followers of a specific handle, you can identify individually. That's a lot of work, but you can actually hire some junior folks, some data mining kind of folks you can hire to actually dig deep a lot of profiles that are liking you, profiles that are commenting on you, profiles that are DMing you. You can collect all of those profiles and you can get the profiling done. Just upload the list of custom URLs, and that's going to give you intelligence. But this feature is available only in the paid account. Okay. Free account itself gives a lot of intelligence. It's one of the favorite tools of mine, and Vibhav's too, right? It's a fantastic tool where you can get intelligence. Number 6 is good old stalking. Uh, on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, we can do it anywhere. But we stalk profiles who engage with our content, who comments on our content, who DMs us, instead of everybody who is following our page. Because not everybody who's following your page is a right audience. But if somebody is liking your communication, liking your post, commenting on it, or DMing you, they have a strong intent, right? So we generally go, this is not a scale process, which means you can't do it at a large scale. But whenever you get time, if you really want to deeply understand your customer, you can just go click on their profile and check what are they tweeting about, what are they generally talking about, what are their likes, which political affiliation do they have, which actors do they follow, which TV series they like, which cuisine of food they like. All of this information can be extremely helpful depending upon the category. Not all of this interest will make sense if you are in a completely different category. Depending upon the category of the business that you are in, while you're stalking people's profiles, you can actually take a few more insights. I mean, this is something that we do when we really run out of ideas, when none of the tools are helping, when we really have a strong roadblock. We actually go and stalk some of the fan profiles that engages with our content, just to see how their lifestyle is, what do they care about. And we find a pattern, then we do something about it. Either we buy media from that kind of websites, or we partner with an influencer. So that kind of media buying calls will be taken based on that. Okay. So number 7 is Crystal.ai. This is mainly from a B2B perspective, especially if you're in B2B. If you really want to know more about your audiences, then nothing like it. It's a Chrome extension, uh, which you can easily install. The free version itself lets you actually monitor insights of a lot of profiles. So let me just quickly show you how it works. So you just search for Crystal.ai Chrome extension and just embed it, install that extension on your browser. So I'm actually doing profiling for this gentleman. Okay. I just opened up Vaibhav profile. Okay. And I just want to understand more about this person. Right. And what I will do is I'll just click on Crystal, view personality, and it is going to reveal a ton of insights about Mr. Vaibhav Sisinti. Okay. So first of all, it gives me a graph of what type of a person he is. Right. Tends to have strong social skills. I can agree to that. Intuition, may move between topics quickly. Yes, I can definitely agree to that. All right. So you will find a lot more insights. That he gets bored easily. He takes decision very quickly with gut instinct. Public speaking, for all of you, those who know Vaibhav, he knows, he's a public speaker. So there is a lot of relevant information about Vaibhav that I can get from. I mean, if I have to take a meeting with him, or if I have to sell something to him, or if I have to just take a call with him, what are the guidelines that I need to have? This information can be extremely useful for your B2B sales teams. But for you to deeply understand about your audience, and for you to have a strong communication strategy in that line, you can definitely dig deep into some of your profiles, especially if you're a B2B product and you're selling to CEOs. You in the retail industry or in the manufacturing industries, you might want to go stalk some of the profiles, use Crystal, identify what type of a personality they are, what do they care about, and then a lot of these inputs can be used in your campaign. Either some of these people may like longer explanation, some of these people may like watching videos over reading something, some of these people would like a very crisp short email. So all of that information would be extremely useful if you are running a campaign targeting those specific people. All right. So that is crystal.ai, which can be really helpful in B2B LinkedIn profiling. The next one is your own Google Analytics, my friend. It can actually reveal a lot about your audience interests. So let me just quickly show you how it is. So under Google Analytics, you have this audience section. Under audience, you will find interests. And under interests, you just click on overview. It's going to give you a lot of intelligence about your target audience. Okay. What do they have affinity towards, which means they like these stuff. Okay, in-market segment is extremely crucial information about your audience, that they're in the market looking for these services or looking for these products, which means they're real ideal buyers. For example, you can take a few of these and feed it back to Facebook interest targeting, but this works better when you feed it to Google Display Network topic or interest targeting. So you can use a lot of these. Maybe you can avoid that because people who are looking for employment might be looking for a job. But somebody who is in the process of looking software or business and productivity software, somebody who is in this particular in-market segment, you can definitely target them in your Google display campaign. Okay. So then there are these other categories which you don't really have to worry about. What I really care about is affinity category and in-market segments, which is about your own visitors, your own website visitors. I know it's an underrated thing a lot of people do not look at, but you need to know how to make use of this information. Many people just report this data, but this data has to go back to your advertising so you get more of them, right? Especially if you are a B2B company, you struggle to get audiences, these kind of insights can be extremely helpful. Okay. So that's your own Google Analytics. Your own heat maps, that is click map and scroll map, can reveal a lot about your audiences. I did talk about it during the workshop, but in case if you do not remember, Clarity is a favorite software of ours, which we use to measure heat maps, click maps and scroll maps. So let me just show you how it looks. Let me just give me a minute. So this can actually give you a lot of qualitative and quantitative data as well. Quantitative in the sense it can tell you whatever GA is revealing you, a little more than that. Dead clicks and quick backs and rage clicks and all of that. When we talk about CRO, we will talk about this a lot. But to the context of this conversation, let me just show you how a heat map looks like. A heat map tells you what are all the elements that are most popular in your website. Okay, so let me just show you the heat map for the last 30 days. So this gives me a rough idea in terms of where exactly people are clicking, and the darker the color is where a lot of attention is going to. This is actually a video, and we expected people to watch that, so a lot of clicks are going on that video, which is fantastic. Our call to action button has a lot of clicks and attention happening here. You can see that little dot side. These are all attention that has gone to. Then I would want to check scroll maps to really understand how uh, how much people are browsing. You could have a short form landing page, long form landing page. I would really want to know how much do people browse. Do they actually browse through all the page? So you can actually see a lot of audiences leaving because the color strength is reducing. But all the way till the down, there are audiences who have gone all the way till down, which means it is a good landing page. The length is perfect. So we don't have to do nothing about length. Maybe we can try increasing the length a little bit to see if the audience are still traveling further. Okay. Another thing that this tool can reveal is recording. This is where you can literally stalk the customer, okay, ethically, and there's nothing wrong with it. Here is where you can see how the customer is browsing your website. This will actually play a video that is going to tell you how people are moving their mouse pointers. So let me see if I can play a video very quickly for you. Yes. So my hands are off. This is just a video I observed. And let me tell you something, whenever I get time, this is what I do. I just keep watching these videos, just like how you binge watch Netflix. Right? I just keep watching these videos because it gives me a very good insight into terms of what the other person is thinking. Where are they stopping? What are they reading? What are they clicking on? Are they finding it difficult? What information do they want to a certain extent? A lot of information you can get by just watching the recording. You just spend time, watch 5 or 6 recordings. You will have immediately 5 or 6 new ideas that you want to experiment with. Okay. So that is what the tools like, your Clarity can do, tools like Hotjar can do, tools like VWO can do. It can give you heat maps, click maps, scroll maps, visitor recordings, and all of that. So the next one is called progressive profiling. Again, this is an intelligent functionality that can recognize a past visitor to your website. Let me give you an example for you to understand. Let's say you have a website like HubSpot. HubSpot publishes a lot of ebooks, right? And every time you're downloading an ebook, they will ask you for an email ID. And once you put your email ID, the next time when you come back to HubSpot, they will automatically recognize you. Okay, that you don't really have to put your email ID again, and you're not even logged into their website. Okay, you just haven't cleared your cache, cleared your cookies, so HubSpot can recognize this is the same visitor that is coming back again. So that's called progressive profiling, where tools like HubSpot, Marketo, Intercom, all of these guys have progressive profiling capability, which means they can recognize a past visitor and they have the history of that past visitor in terms of that person came in, he visited 4 or 5 pages, he downloaded an ebook, he watched a webinar, all of that details as long as you haven't cleared your cookies. So they will be able to do that. And there are other tools like Lead Feeder, it's called reverse IP lookup tools that can be extremely beneficial from a B2B lead gen standpoint. Let me show you how that tool works. So this is Lead Feeder. It can work in two ways. Either you can sync up with your Google Analytics, or you can implement the pixel we share with you. This is the kind of insights that they give you. You can understand what type of companies are visiting your website. Look at how this input can help you. First of all, if you're running ABM campaigns on LinkedIn, you can actually target some of these companies that has visited your website. And I mean, of course, you can do cookie-based retargeting, but when you have the name of the company, you can actually target anybody in that company. When you do cookie-based retargeting, you will be able to retarget only that specific person. So this kind of intelligence is extremely helpful. Google Analytics used to reveal this data a while ago, but they have removed this functionality. So you can definitely use tools like Lead Feeder. Lead Feeder is extremely capable of understanding what type of companies are visiting your website, and they'll keep alerting you. Now you can use this insight in a variety of ways. You can actually use it in your ABM campaign, like I said, or you can alert your sales teams, who are actually working on these different companies, saying that, hey, this company visited our website recently. Do you want to talk to them? Right. So these are different ways you can use these insights. Lead Feeder, extremely useful tool. I personally use this tool for our own company, apart from using it for a lot of our clients. Okay. So number 11 is audience enrichment. Assume that you have only a database of people, but you don't have any other details about them. That is when you go for audience enrichment platforms. And some of the platforms that do it very well is Lucia, Full Contact, Clearbit, Rocket Reach. So you can sign up for a free account in some of them, not all of them do. And you can feed in about 10 or 15 official email IDs, company email IDs, and it can profile that audience for you, which company they are, what is their designation, how many number of employees do they have. If they could find revenue details about the company, it can. So whatever information they can find online about that particular email ID, it is going to be sitting in one place. In B2B, this is going to be extremely useful because a lot of companies out there do not have an organized database. They would have collected email IDs from multiple different places, no clue, collected from events, collected from salespeople, collected from people who filled up the form in the website, all of that details, right? So you really don't know anything about this audience. You just sometimes mindlessly just keep on sending emails to the same database. In that case, if you really don't know about your audience, you need to be using these audience enrichment tools that can reveal a lot more details about that specific email ID. Okay, it can go up to an extent to finding their phone numbers as well. The another place where you can learn a lot about your audience is reviews. It is not your own reviews. It should be your competitor reviews, or it could be a related product reviews. Okay. You can actually refer to Amazon reviews if you're a B2C product. Fantastic insights it reveals. And I will actually do it with an example. If you're a B2B product, there is Trust Radius, G2.com, Capterra.com. These are places that talks about actual buyers, who are using different softwares. They come and review what they liked and what they disliked. You can actually learn a lot about that audience, what kind of pain points they had and how that particular product solved. And if you're solving something similar, you can use that for your own benefit. For B2B services, you can refer to this platform called Clutch.co. Clutch.co has reviews of a lot of companies. And, if you're really competing with another company out there, you can go check out their reviews to understand what are they really good at. Okay. For example, if I'm a digital agency, or I assume that I'm a website development company, okay, or a software development company, I would go to clutch.co to look up some of my competition. It is like a directory, and read their reviews. Many of their clients would have told what are the nicest things about them or what are the negative things about them. So the nicest things I can tell, I can also offer the same thing. But the negative things are equally important because I can tell I can offer that. What you felt negative with that company, I can offer that to you. So that kind of messaging you can identify or figure out by going through the reviews of companies. The next one is what we do is online mystery shoppers. So online mystery shoppers are people that you hire to actually go through your website just like a regular user and get their genuine feedback. Okay, so this can happen in two different ways. Either you can you need not give them a brief. You just ask them, tell me about the experience or what got your attention, which product did you want to buy. Those kind of questions you can ask the user once they browse through your website. And another platform that a lot of UX oriented companies use is usertesting.com, especially if your business is dependent online. You have an app or you have a website, then you go to usertesting.com. You can hire a bunch of users that are falling in your target audience segment. You can actually give them a brief without giving a brief. You can give them a questionnaire to analyze, what did they understand? Was the browsing easy for them? Were they able to find the product that they were looking for? A ton of these insights you can get. Really, really helpful. It can reveal a lot of stuff. Even for an offline business, if you're an offline business, you can hire a mystery shopper to go to your retail location and just shop like a regular customer and then come back and give you insights. Because as a marketing team, if you go to a specific shop and people recognize you, they don't behave normally, or if they're aware that you're going to the shop for inspection, the regular things that happen there may not happen during the inspection time because they get to aware that you're going to submit a report based on that. There is search around mystery shopping as a category. It will tell you a lot more about how you can use these people to reveal genuine customer insights, because sometimes you just may not be able to get your customer to do it. You can actually find people who do this for a living. Yeah. Number 4 is the data commissioned. Number 14 is data you can commission from market research agencies. Whenever I work with a larger brand, this is what most of the larger brands do. They do have a market research agency that keep on profiling their customers, that keep on identifying their needs, that helps me understand the market share that I currently have. If a competitor is doing better in a specific region overall from a business perspective, it can give me that data. Any specific feedback from customers from a specific region, I can get those insights. So it is completely up to you in terms of how do you want to utilize market research agencies. They can be phenomenal. All these people, what they do is they typically go out there, talk to people, interview them, incentivize them, and come back with all those answers. And they will be doing their own study and then arrive at a ratio. This is how those ratios are arrived at. That 65% of the people do not go to Facebook after 6 p.m. in the night. Some stats like that you must have already seen on internet, right? These kind of statistics come from market research agencies. But I'm not a big fan of secondary research information that you can find online. If you really want deep insights, you can hire a market research agency and you can give them a brief that this is what I want to know about my consumer. This is what I want to know about my competition. They will tell you the cost and you can get it done through them. When you're commissioning a market research agency, they'll do a fantastic job. But if you're actually relying on secondary research data that is available online about someone else, that's not really helpful. Yeah, that is good for presentations, but not for real life. Number 15 is survey tools that you can use on your website. There are a few tools like Hotjar and Qualaroo that lets you do that. Let me just show you an example in terms of how it looks like. So this is Hotjar, okay? And let me refresh this website. So Hotjar itself has an option for a survey. So you see the survey, right? Where you can ask people, how is the experience going? Are you able to find what you're looking for? How would you rate our UX? Any sort of that question, like a pop-up. You can either hide it or you can trigger it if the user is spending more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes on your website, or if the user is browsing more than 2 pages on your website, you can trigger this, or you can always keep it like this as a widget, which user can click on whenever they want to. This can reveal a lot of insights that you haven't thought of. This is highly qualitative in nature. You might be thinking, why would people do that? Look, there are a lot of good folks out there as well, and they genuinely tell you what they feel like. If you have gone to some supermarkets and stuff like that, after once the billing is done, they typically ask you to rate their experience, right? They take that data back and do something about it. If a particular store is actually registering a strong negative feedback, it gives a signal to the leadership team in terms of what they should be doing about it. Yeah. Should they change the personnel? Should they arrange for more inventory? Is the store shopping experience overall bad? So those are the things that they will be looking at fixing. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of audience research. Like I said, we'll be doing with a few examples. We will use maybe Facebook group and Amazon review to understand the pain points of a specific customer that we are trying to solve, right? That is where it gets really interesting. Now, when it comes to the reality, not all these tools and methods are used by different companies. Different methods work for different people. Like I was talking about audience enrichment, right? It is mostly used by B2B companies. Similarly, we did that profiling for Webber. Again, it is used from a B2B perspective, not as much from a B2C perspective. So different companies use these things for different contests. Since our community is filled with people from varied backgrounds, we are talking about all the possible methods that are available out there. And of course, outside this, you can actually talk to your own customers to understand more about them. That goes without saying, I guess, that is called customer interviews or stakeholder interviews. You can actually interview a lot of your customers and then come up with insights, or you can commission a market research agency to interview a lot of your customers and then give you insights as well. Yep. So I'll see you in the next chapter.